So what am I going to ramble about today? Teachers get screwed. Really. I was thinking about it, and I'm a teacher. I've been a teacher for a long time, for going on 17 years, I think. And I'm not going to say it doesn't happen in other jobs and other businesses and whatnot, but how many jobs do you know where you have to take home large amounts of work all the time and it's just expected? How many jobs do you know where you have to always adapt to every single person you encounter to best suit all of their needs all the time? I don't know that many jobs. If you're looking at customer service, then yes, you want to give good customer service, for example. But that doesn't mean adapting to every single customer. There are certain templates that you have in terms of what's polite, certain standards, I should say. For other businesses, you work in a restaurant, do you take that work home? Nah. You work as a mechanic, you might have some jobs on the side to make extra money, but you're not really taking the work home. As a teacher, you're expected to take work home and you don't get paid for that. You're expected to often lesson plan outside of class, which you don't get paid for. I know in America you're woefully underpaid. So, I mean, if you calculate the time that you're actually having to be at work, plus the time at home checking papers and preparing your classes, I mean, it can't be much more than minimum wage, can it? For a job that everyone totes as being the foundation of a good society. And it's crazy. And then you have teachers buying their own supplies. I buy my own supplies. I go to class, I have to buy little miniature whiteboards, I have to buy markers and paper because companies and schools don't want to make sure that they're well stocked. And they know that dedicated teachers are going to spend their own, meager money to get it. And it's crazy. It's insane. So yeah, I think teachers get really shafted. And then you put on top of that the shifting attitudes towards teachers where, it's all about the student, making the student happy. No, it's about education. Look, I want a fun class. I want my students to engage with each other and play some games sometimes, do some teamwork. But at the end of the day, we also have to get down to business and do certain things in class to, make progress. It's not always fun and games. Sometimes we have to be serious. Everything in moderation. So you get a kid, for example, saying, "Oh, this class today was boring." And then instantly the parent complains like, "Oh, we want you guys to make the class more interesting." Okay, interesting for who? For your child? Well, I'm sorry, but what might be interesting for your child might not be interesting for other children, and vice versa. What's easy for your child might be hard for other children, and vice versa. This whole idea of teachers having to constantly adapt everything for everyone and be ready for every eventuality, seriously? I mean, how many other professions? I can't imagine it's the majority. And for the salary. I mean, come on, guys. And I do also get into some controversial areas here, but I do also think it's because parents have become a bit shit recently, to be honest with you. Parents don't want to take responsibility for their own kids. They want to blame someone else. Look, here's the thing, and this is one thing I've said for years. I cannot fix your kid in 1 to 2 hours a week after you have spent years breaking your child, ruining your child, perhaps. I think a lot of parents, they have spoiled children. They have children who haven't learned consequences. And instead of the parents taking responsibility for that, it falls on the teacher's shoulder. The teachers are supposed to teach the child about consequences. I can't. I have your kid 2 hours a week, maybe 3, maybe 4. I can't undo what you have done to your child over 8, 10, 12, 15, 18 years. I can't. It's not possible. So I think teachers are getting a bit screwed now. I think we have to, you know, back up what we say. If teachers are really valuable, then make sure teachers have resources. If teachers are really respected in society, then instead of trying to, kiss your child's ass, maybe side with the teacher, the way people used to a long time ago. And I know I'm dating myself here, but, again, teachers tend to have the best interest of your child at heart. And they have to deal with 20, 30, and in Asia, where I'm teaching, like 40 to 50, sometimes 60 students in a class. They have your kids' best interest at heart, which is probably why most teachers got into teaching. So keep that in mind the next time you as a parent want to be critical and question things. You are a parent, you're not a teacher. It's a different thing. It's a different, not entirely different, but there's a lot of differences in terms of the skill sets. There's a lot of differences in terms of how much and what you have to manage. And I don't think enough parents respect that and get that. So yeah, that's my ramble, aka rant for today. Is I just wish people could understand that teachers do have it rough and parents need to get on board. Parents need to go back maybe 20 years and maybe, yes, be inquisitive about what's happening in classrooms, be inquisitive about, how teaching standards and practices have changed, and hope that the teachers are keeping up with modern practices and standards. But at the same time, also understand that the teachers have a lot on their plate. They are underpaid, overworked, buying their own materials, dealing with kids whose parents haven't taught them any form of respect or consequence whatsoever. And, maybe keep that in mind. Anyway, see you guys tomorrow. Have a good day.